The Columbus City Council meeting for July 1st, 2024 will now come to order. In compliance with the Open Meeting Act, a copy of this act is posted in this meeting room. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Bulkley.
Here.
Alarcon. Here. Barr.
Here.
Freshour. Here. Hemer.
Here.
Jablonski.
Here.
Lopez. Here. Roth.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
Mayor Bulkley, the roll has been called.
Thank you. Mr. Council President.
Our Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens. Please give us your wisdom and guidance to make proper decisions entrusted to this governmental body. May our conduct show respect, honor, and courtesy to each other, as well as to all our citizens. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. If at any time during our meeting this evening, anyone in our audience would like to come forward and address the council, that would be all two of you, I think, that are in our audience right now. You'd be welcome to. We'd ask that you give your name, your address, and keep any comments to 5 minutes or less. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Item 4, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a City Council member or citizen requests, in which event the item will be removed from consent status and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 4A, minutes of the June 17th, 2024 City Council meeting. Item 4B, resolution number R24-77, authorizing payment of various improvement projects. And item 4C, payroll and bills on file. Mr. Mayor and council members, is there anything you would like removed from consent?
Mr. Mayor, the items on the consent agenda to be approved as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to new business this evening.
Item 13A, appointment of Jeff Vaughn to the Board of Airport Commissioners, filling the unexpired term of Dennis Wardeen until December 2024.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the mayor's appointment of Jeff Vaughn to the Board of Airport Commissioners be ratified.
Second.
Well, let's.
Would you like me to read this first?
Oh, okay, you can. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, we get so infrequent candidates, we're just grabbing them.
We want to get him when we can, Jim. That's right. We want to jump on him.
We don't want him to change his mind.
I didn't want to put my glasses on for nothing here.
I'm sorry.
Council members, the mayor, with your permission, wants to submit the following name to your appointment at our July 1, 2024 City Council meeting per City Council rules, filling the unexpired term of Dennis Warden until December 2024. Jeff Vaughn at 1736 Minden Drive, Columbus, Nebraska. Jeff Vaughn is originally a Columbus native native, having moved back to Columbus in October of 2024 after residing in Lincoln for almost 20 years. He and his wife saw the value in planting some deeper roots where they could make a larger impact in a smaller community, and Columbus made perfect sense. Their goals of raising their 2 children in a smaller community around family and longtime friends cemented this decision. Jeff is a technology sales representative for Eeks Office Solution and owns a small business, Vaughn Detailing LLC. He's on the board for the Platte County Pheasants Forever chapter and is a member of Knights of Columbus. He and 2 other Columbus natives have also created a nonprofit called Platte Valley Conservation Group with the goals of restoring habitat for upland birds such as pheasants and quail, and also providing opportunities for youth to get outdoors. Mr. Vaughn is always looking for ways to be involved in our community while remaining present at home and work, and he feels the opportunity to become a member of the airport board will be a perfect fit. And now I asked if there would be a motion to accept this.
Okay, now? Out of the way. Okay, Mr. Mayor, the appointment of Jeff Vaughn on Board of Airport Commissioners be ratified.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
The only so he'll be back in December if he wants it, or is this a trial basis? Is that kind of the
No.
understanding?
You know, he was told that if it's something that didn't fit for him,
He has the opportunity
he has the
out.
opportunity
Okay.
out.
Thank
I mean, these are all volunteer positions, and he is filling one from a gentleman that's been on the board that is moving outside of the city limits, so he's no longer allowed to be on the board.
I know we had difficulty finding some because everybody that flies planes lives outside of the city.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah,
big,
yeah,
that is a
yeah.
big deal. But, you know, at some point, too, I think it's maybe important, we've always wanted the pilots because they're actively involved, but somebody else with maybe a business head on, business shoulders, somebody to maybe think of something a little different, you know? So we'll give it a try and see what happens. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13B, application from TNT Incorporated doing business as Glur's Tavern for an addition to their liquor license at 2301 11th Street to include the wraparound front porch.
Mr. Mayor, I move a recommendation be made to the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission to approve the application from Glur's Tavern to addition to liquor license.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the addition to the liquor license for Gloria's Tavern. Any discussion? Sounds to me like a natural. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13C, quote from 120 Water in the amount of $17,850 for completion of lead service line inventory and data compliance.
Mr. Mayor, I move the quote from 120 Water for completion of lead service line inventory data compliance be accepted.
We have a motion and a second to approve the quote. Any discussion?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
It was indicated that we'd gotten about 1,000 responses. How many of those responses indicate lead or lead piping?
None of those were.
Are we aware of any lead pipe service?
Yeah, there's some in the older communities, some of the parts of towns have lead goosenecks and stuff, so it's out there.
Thank you.
It's in the system, yep.
Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13D, quote from Mechanical Sales in the amount of $16,546 for 2 condenser fans at the Aquatic Center.
Mr. Mayor, I move the quote for mechanical sales for condenser fans be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the quote for 2 condenser fans from Mechanical Sales at the Aquatic Center. Any discussion?
Are these replacements?
Yes, it's on the Strasco system that's currently on top of the aquatic center. These would be two fans to replace two that are no longer operational.
Not a budget item, just replacement.
Building maintenance.
Okay, any other comments, or, yes, sir?
Thanks to Betsy, I appreciate your prompt response to my questions. Thank you.
No problem, thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13E, comments from the mayor and city council members. In compliance with the Open
Yes,
Meetings Act, no discussion may be held on this item.
All right, any council members with comments? Councilman Barr?
Two, if you're going to celebrate Independence Day out in the street in front of your house, I really like to see you pick up after yourself. Our street department's busy enough. They don't need to come and pick up after you. So it's not, if you had a lot of fun doing it, please pick up after yourself. Secondly, about a month ago, I challenged everybody in the room to show up for Paws and Claws fundraiser, and I would match their donation. So we need to start with the chief of police in the back room. He was there, made a nice donation. The captain was there, had to leave somebody back at the station, so the other captain couldn't come. Mr. Roth made a nice donation, Mrs. Vasicek, Mr. Boakley, and Sharia. Don't get into a tortilla slap with her, she'll win. Made a very nice donation. We had a tremendous turnout from walk-ins and phone-ins and on the computer. The firemen and the ambulances were there. If you went to that end of town that day, it looked like there was a disaster going on because we had 2 ambulances and 2 fire trucks. So
And-
I can't, I know I'm forgetting somebody, but thank you so very much. With your donations, they were able to put $11,400 into their war chest.
And for those who maybe are trying to catch into the part of the conversation, this was for Paws and Claws.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, any other comments from council members? Yes, sir?
Yes. If you have not been to Girard Park recently, we have 2 absolutely gorgeous new facilities there. A 4-court tennis complex and a 3-court pickleball complex. And they are absolutely gorgeous. Very, very nicely done. And I hope that the public, myself included, uses these facilities. Very nicely done. Thank you.
Awesome. As a follow-up, sometimes we do things and we often hope that they turn out well. We recently fully staffed Charlie Lewis to want to make sure we were giving the proper coverage and the best coverage we could over the community. One of the issues we often talked about was what the fire department refers to as overlapping calls. When we were at one station and something would happen elsewhere in town and it would be difficult to get to, and that was always a concern. Chief Gray indicated, and this is only after 1 month, but from January to April, we were averaging about 30 overlapping calls a month. In the month of May, we had 8 overlapping calls since we fully staffed Charlie Lewis. So I think it speaks to the point that we are serving the public and we're giving the public what they expect and what they deserve. Finally, as a follow-up to Councilman Barr's comments about our firecrackers and fireworks, please recognize the city ordinance does indicate that you are able to light them and blow them off, if that's what trips your trigger, from 8 to 11, from the 25th of June to the 3rd of July, and 8 to midnight on the 4th of July. Please have respect for your neighbors and be kind to everybody's animals.
And that's in the central time zone, right?
Yeah, Central Time Zone. Central Time Zone. All right.
I know they go to 1 and 2.
We'll move on to resolutions.
Item 14A, resolution number R24-75, terminating the grant agreement with the Columbus Area Chamber of Commerce.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we remove Resolution R24-75 from the table and from the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to remove resolution number R24-75 from the table and remove it from the agenda. Any discussion?
I would just say, unless you want to, that the Chamber and NeighborWorks have come to agreement on a new management contract for the Real Workforce Housing Fund, so that's why we're removing this from the agreement. We'll keep the grant funds there so that they can be used for workforce housing.
Absolutely. All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14B, resolution number R24-78, approving the amendment to the design-build agreement with Bierman Contracting Incorporated for Centennial Park Restroom and Concession Building.
Mr. Mayor, I move resolution number R24-78 be adopted.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number R24-78. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes, and that wraps up our long meeting this evening. We do have a community development meeting, which we will adjourn, or we will commence with immediately following, as everyone can get ready here in the next couple of minutes.
This meeting